Hi, y'all.
What's going on, family?
How is everyone doing?
Welcome to the live on tonight. Let me take care of that while we go ahead.
We probably just gonna give a couple of seconds for the some people to come on to jump on.
Make sure,
But we ain't gonna tarry though.
make sure we live and then we good to go.
So,
Hold on. Let me check Facebook.
hmm
You live on Facebook?
hmm
Okay. All right, we good to go then.
so we decided to take the next step, referring to our latest video that was posted about 3 days ago. And apparently, that post went completely viral. Like, it just, it went viral. So we decide, why not just have a discussion about, I guess, what happened, some of the comments, and different scenarios that we may, talk about.
Right. So on tonight's episode is centered around that episode that we had is centered around the video that we did. The name of the video was what was it called, babe?
Um, when you forget what you promised him, something along that line.
Yeah, so the video was called When We Forget What You Promised Him. And first of all, we want to say thank you all so much for the support, the views, the likes, the shares, the comments, man. It went well beyond what we thought it would do. So we are forever grateful for the engagement, for the interaction. But it was so many things that were shared in the midst of that we wanted to come on and have a conversation. But before we even get started with that, in case you don't know, I'm AC,
And I'm Ivy.
and this is our podcast titled Undefiled, dealing with things concerning marriage, and we deal with it from a biblical point of view. If you don't know us, we from Columbus, South Carolina. We are in ministry. I am serving currently at my local church as associate pastor in preparation to launch and start my own ministry eventually. So we are just graced to be able to do what God has done. We've been married for,
12 years,
why did you have to stop?
going on 13. I was going to say 13. We've been together for 13.
Together for 13, married for 12 years. And God has graced us to gain a wealth of knowledge along the way. And this is just an open conversation and dialogue that we like to have concerning marriage, marriage issues, marriage problems, and marital situations. And so, with that, with this podcast, tonight's conversation is centered around what we saw in the comments as being something that people kept bringing up about issues with intimacy in marriage. And we decided to call it, basically saying, is sex really a chore? Um, because we recognize that sometimes in marriage, once you get to that marriage state, or once you have been married for a while, there has come up that issue or that concept where sex becomes a chore. So I wanted to start off by asking that question on tonight. Babe, from your perspective as a woman, is sex really a chore?
Sex is not a chore. However, I would like to say that it's not a chore, but when you are, I guess, kind of seasoned a little bit in marriage, and you begin to start doing life, because y'all know life be lifing. You started doing life, especially when you have kids, and if you're working, even if you're not working, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I still be kind of tired. But I would say it doesn't become a chore, but when you have all those um, responsibilities on you, and then it's time to go to bed, and you're tired, and you're not really wanting to perform.
But why? Okay, why is it a performance? Like, like, so I get what you're saying. So before we go, because I feel like we gotta stop there because I get what you're saying. So you're saying you had a long day, you're tired, you're drained, so you don't really feel like performing. But the problem is the question comes into play, like what makes it a performance? Like before now, let me preface this because like I said, we do ministry and we know what the Bible says concerning sex before marriage. Now we recognize the current state that we're in. Not everybody lives up to that standard.
Hmm.
For us, we've shared our testimony on multiple platforms before about how even though we tried to live to a godly standard, we failed. So in that, I'm not saying or nor are we condoning premarital sex in any way, but if you have that experience, and there have been those with that testimony, when you had that experience, you didn't have that issue before marriage, right? In some cases. So when marriage becomes a play or when marriage becomes a part, or even if you didn't have that issue before marriage, if you were sanctified, you may have started off in marriage good, but at some point it became a chore. Like what happened? What changed?
Okay, I'm just gonna speak on us.
Yeah, you can only speak on us.
I can only speak on us. So with us, of course, like you shared, we fell. Okay, so we was dating, but we wasn't doing life with each other.
Mm,
So we saw each other, and that thrill was there. That you know that feeling you get when you're dating somebody. The goosebumps was there, and it's like I can't wait to see him. So it wasn't a chore then. But once we got married, and like I said, we started having responsibilities.
mm.
Then we started having children. That's when it wears on your body a little bit. If that makes sense, because all that responsibility, like I said, we didn't have any responsibilities when we was dating. So it was exciting. It was fun. Not saying that it's not now, because
I mean, because that's how you
it
making
is
it seem.
exciting
You
and it's
making it
fun.
seem
But
like
I'm
it's
just saying,
boring.
as
It's a
no, 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 no. It is because you
all
it's
right,
not
all right. Well, hold on.
it's not boring
I'm
now.
about to say we ain't going rated R,
Yeah, it's not boring now. But I'm
but
just saying there's some women who deal with, and it's I mean it happens. This men and women are wired differently.
mm-hmm.
I feel like women can go without it for a couple of days. Y'all act like y'all losing your mind when y'all don't have it.
It's not an act,
Well, y'all losing your mind when y'all don't have it. So it's like when we have, and I know y'all have a lot of responsibilities as well.
right?
But sometimes from a woman, and even got to stand up from a hormonal space. Like, what if that woman is, on medication?
Mm.
She had a long day. We have mood swings. We're going through menopause,
Just because the men is in it, we ain't got
and
nothing to do with it
and
now.
it's just some days our body just don't catch up with the fact that okay, my husband, wants to take it there tonight.
So then
If I hope I'm making sense.
you make it sense. Like I get it. I get what you're saying. So I get the. It's not that the argument isn't justified. Like I get it. So you're saying that after marriage you go through changes, you go through the stresses of life, the heaviness, the burdens that you're dealing with, all of these different issues. You're trying to figure out. You're trying to balance this new weight. We never had kids before. So there are changes that come in that affect the way you think, the way you process, and you're
Hmm.
balancing all that and trying to balance being married. Um, in the midst of that, I guess, and this is where we have this conversation. This is how we make it make sense. Where, because like, okay, for example, like you said, with men, we have issues, so we have struggles, we have burdens, we have responsibilities, we feel that weight to some degree, but there's no change in how we perceive intimacy.
Because from what I have been told,
Hmm.
for a man, that's how y'all relieve y'all stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
So y'all don't care because that's like a stress reliever for y'all.
So I guess explain to me what makes it not stressful for you. Like for us, that's why we process it. That's why it doesn't make sense, right? Because to us, being with you makes our day better. Being with you helps us bring about peace. Being intimate helps us get past some of the things we're doing. If we're stressful, I can pull on you. So it's like I can't relate to the fact like why isn't that the same?
It's different. It's like you won't really understand a woman. Yeah, yes, you can pull on. Don't do that.
I'm
You
saying
can pull on
absolutely.
us, but I'm just saying, like from a woman, you pull on us all the time, like every day, every night. So it's like, when do we get a break? When does our body get time to?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I guess I'm just trying to figure out like what. how do you view intimacy? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, how do you view it?
Intimacy for me is just spend time with me. Just hold me. Have a conversation with me. And then, at the end of the night, if that's done, or, what I'm saying, then we can do what you want to do. But sometimes it's like, you don't always, that don't always. Can I ask you another question before I go there?
Yeah, I mean, we talking.
I wonder, why is it at the end of the night, the man always, I guess, expect to have sex once, you know, like we go out to dinner, you expect to have sex at the end of the night. If we go to the movies, you expect to have sex at the end of the night. If we go walking in the mall, you expect to have. So why is it everything has to lead up to having sex at the end of the night?
It's
Why
like,
can't it be just, let's just go home and chill, let's watch a movie, let's cuddle, and go to sleep? Just a question.
because it's like that's like the payoff. Yeah, it's like you go to a game to see who wins, right? It's a payoff. It's like it's a part of it in us. It's to us as men. It's like that's what we're working towards. That date, that time spent pays off in the end. It's like culminating. It's like would you take the time to make a cake, mix a cake, bake a cake, and not taste the cake? No, you want to have what you've been spending time on.
So basically, you're spending time just to get what you want.
No, I'm not saying you're spending time just to get what. That's not what you trying to twist my word.
I ain't,
No,
I'm
I'm
just
saying,
asking.
but you ask why, like, why do men feel that way? And it's like we feel that way because to us, it's a part of it. It's not. They're not separated. It's like if we go on a date and we're being romantic, and everything is building up, it's building up to a climax, right? So in your mind, it's not building up, but to us, it is. So you're expecting us to get built up and then come home and just calm down on our own. When it's like, nah, we could calm down with you. We can take all this energy, this emotion, this intimacy that we've been experiencing building up, and you know, have do something with it with you. That's how I don't know if any man out there has a different explanation on that, but that's how I feel about it, and that's what I believe a lot of men feel about that.
I feel like as a woman, not saying that, like, again, like, not saying that y'all don't have any responsibilities, but when you take on, especially if you have the husband and the wife that are both working, when the husband gets off, he clocks out.
Mm.
He goes home and he shuts down. In the household, is not, I guess, when a man comes home, he's home. He's relaxed. He go either his man cave, or he's on the game, or he does what he wants to do. With women, I feel like we don't get to clock out, because if she's working, she clocks out from the job, but then she has to go get the kids, and then she has to do homework, and then she has to cook dinner, and then she has to clean up after the dinner, and then she has to get the kids bath, get them ready for school the next day, pack lunch, iron clothes, and then on top of that, we have our husband in the bed just laid out and ready, and we like, just let me breathe.
So with what you're saying from that perspective, basically what you're saying is you feel like you never get a break. So that's what makes sex.
Yeah, because it's like when you finally able to just breathe and just relax, you open the door and they are ready to rock and roll. And it's like, I just got finished cleaning up the kitchen. I just got the kids to bed. Now, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but there are some times where it's just like, just let me breathe.
I can
Because if you be honest, when y'all come home, what do y'all do?
well, I can't speak for all men,
It can't speak for all men.
but I can't say like, and it may be common. It may be common among men, but and we've had this conversation before. But y'all, like coming home for a man, that's supposed to be our place of peace. So when we come home, we want to shut down, not necessarily shut down from the family, but we've had to be so much for someone else. So it's like that concept of I had to be strong, I had to go out here and work. There's people out here pulling on me. They want me to be this, that, and the third. And so sometimes when you get home, you just want to be home, relax, get your mind off of the stress of work, the stress of bills, the stress of responsibility. And so sometimes in that extent, you can relax so much so that you forget, what it means to be strong for your wife or strong for your kids. And we don't do it intentionally, but it does happen. Um, so I can understand what you're saying as far as, when you look at, especially if you're a working woman, you come home and you got to take care of the kids, you got to do homework, schoolwork, clothes. That like being a stay-at-home mom is a job within itself. Because that's kind of been our situation for years. And I've learned to respect the fact that that means if you're a stay-at-home mom, that means you're always at work. Um, and it's not easy for you to work and not accomplish anything as far as you working and not being tired. So I had to learn what can I do so that you don't feel like home is always a job. So that is something that I had to become aware of. That is something that I had to take time to kind of look at and say, okay, I don't want her to feel like she's never getting a break. But then if I come home and do everything, then I'm never getting a break. You're looking at me like you didn't feel that.
I did.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's okay for you to never get a break. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there has to be balance on both ends, because what it is if I come home and I'm always taking a break and you never get one, that exhausts you. But if I come home from working and I start working so that you can get a break, then where does my break come in? You see what I'm saying? So we have to have balance. When I say we have to have balance, we have to have a conversation, and we do this. But I'm saying in marriage, you have to have a conversation of what kind of help do we need for this home to work. I've been everything I need to be outside of home, but what do I need to be inside of the home for this home to work? What do I need to do? What do I need to help you with? What do I need to assist you with? Like that's the conversation that we have to have um, for it to function. Does that make more sense?
I mean, it does.
But
I just still feel like a lot of a responsibility is on women. Yes, y'all go to work, y'all provide, y'all pay the bills, and we appreciate that. Even when it comes to the kids, who do the kids want? Mama. You could be sitting there and you could be sitting there doing absolutely nothing, and the kids will run right past you and still come to me.
hmm
They will all come to me. So it's like your daddy's sitting right there doing nothing.
but
And I'm cooking or I'm cleaning and your daddy's right there.
I feel like this personal.
It ain't personal, but it's hitting home.
No, I mean, so with that though, but I get what you're saying, like I really do. But with that, like you gotta understand that you play a role that I can never play. So they're gonna come to you not because not because they don't think I can do it, but to be honest with you, they come to you because they feel like whatever they want, they can get it from you versus get it from me. That's really why. They feel like if I go to daddy, he may give me a stern no, but if I give mama, even if she say no, I can argue with her a little bit to kind of get what I want. So that's why they rather go to you. Because anytime you want something, you'll go to the one who you feel like is going to give it to you. You're not going to go to the one that you feel like is not. And that's all that is. So it's when it comes to fathers, oftentimes we're looked at as hard, because we have to be the disciplinary, because we have to, be stern. Sometimes we're the ones that correct. So they rather not ask us unless they absolutely have to, just because they want to avoid hearing that rejection from us. They can handle it from you, but it's a lot harder coming from us. So that's the real reason why. But I get it. That don't stop you from being frustrated, even with you knowing why it don't. And that's
It
what.
it doesn't. That's why I said a lot of women feel like sex can be a chore at times, not all the time. Cause like I stated, it's not a chore for me, but it can be a chore for a lot of women, especially the women that was in the comments,
And I
because
and
we have to carry so much outside of work.
And it's like when I think about that, I think about because we've been there. It's not like we ain't been there. We're not there now, but we've been there to where we've had to have that conversation. And one of the things I had to come to realize, like you said, was with you carrying so much, there was a level of understanding on, okay, what can I do to help you process what you're carrying, right? Because you're still my responsibility as my wife. But in that, and this is where the concept comes to men, if if I do that, then I'm adding more to my plate, right? And it's okay because I'm helping you. But then I don't want to keep putting more on my plate, but I don't see you kind of reciprocating that in a different way. Like,
But when you say more on your plate, meaning what?
so when I say more on my plate, so like a lot of times when women, like, men, they want to just, they want to pay you no attention all day, and then they just want to get, you just want to instantly turn them on. It would just be instant turn on, instant be ready. So basically, what you're saying is you want that man to put in effort all day. Effort takes, it takes, when you think about effort, you're talking about energy, talking about being proactive. So any type of proactivity is, that means it's not natural. That means it's work for him to do. So he has to be intentional about working towards what he's trying to get. So that intimacy, that time spent, those kind words, they may all be coming from the heart, but it's still work because it's not something that he would have naturally done originally because he has to work towards what he wants. So now he's being intentional about, going towards that, which is, like I said, it's taking on more of a responsibility. It's more mind, it's more on your mind, it's more on your thought processing because
So if it's putting more on you and put more work on you, how do you think we feel? And it's on us already, every day.
okay, but I get what you're saying. So listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if what you're saying, when I talk about the mental process, I'm not talking about the work as far as helping you around the house. I'm talking about stuff like when you say, you know, don't just expect me to be ready at the end of the day and you pay me no attention. So even talking about being intentional about paying attention to you, being intentional about spending time with you. What if the man's introverted, but you want to be, if you're extroverted, so he has to be intentional about going places with you. All of that is going to be weight to him. It's going to be work for him. But if he puts in that work for you to get to the end result, then every time he wants the end result, that means he has to go to work.
But just like you asked in the beginning, was it work when we was dating? It became
We get
work.
ready to go to commercial break.
It became work for doing marriage, but it wasn't technically work while we was dating.
It was.
It
It
wasn't.
was. It was. It was.
Mm.
It. No, you didn't. Don't put them fingers down. You ain't did nothing. No, it was. It put the fingers down because it was work. Because what happened was it was what we were doing to get to that point, to get you, to have you. We were chasing you, right? And so now, it's. I know it's gonna sound bad when I say it, but I'm not saying. Why you not? You don't even know what I'm gonna
I
say.
when the
You have
guy
no
said, "Oh,
clue.
touch your head."
You don't even know what I was saying. But what I was saying was, with that, what happens is once we get into that place of now that you're ours, it's not that we value you any less, but it's like, why do we have to chase what we've already caught?
Because
Because what? Cause is not an
to
answer.
keep the spark going, to keep the spark going, yes, chase me,
Chase you. You should
chase
be. You
me.
should be here. What about
I'm
chasing
here,
you?
but keep chasing me.
What for? What I'm running for?
Because I want
The
you to
Bible
keep
say I'm running for my life, not running for my wife.
keep chasing me.
So,
Keep pursuing me.
so basically, what you're saying is that you still want to be courted, you still want to be dated, you still want to be pursued.
Yes, because in some marriages that stops once you say I do. And you was like, well, okay, I got you now, so all that just stops. It's like we just what we do now.
And that's a good question because I don't think people think about that.
After you done uh
Because I mean, honestly, like think about it. Like if you get married because of the thrill of the chase, then once I caught you, what do we do now? Like, what do we do now? I don't have to chase you no more. You're mine. So what do we do now?
Figure out how to become one and get mad with each other.
But what I'm saying is, I think a lot of times the reason why intimacy becomes a hard pressed issue in marriage is because people don't have that conversation about what do we do now. They don't talk about that, right? Like I just told you, it's easy for a man to process. Like I did all of those things because I was trying to get you. Now that I got you, you never articulated to me, hey, keep doing this. This is what I want my everyday life to look like. In my mind, well, hey, we good. You like me for me. I did great things, yes, but you like me for me, not for the things. So if I don't do the things, we still good. I'm feeling like that you disagree.
I feel like yes, I like you for you, but it's like in a sense, it's like you put on a mask, like when we're dating, so to speak. So it's like you put on this, oh, I'm a great, what you are a great guy, I'm a
I'm
great
about to
guy,
say,
and I do this and I do that, and yada yada yada, and then as soon as we get married, it's like, oh, now I can finally take the mask off and be who I really am, and it's like, what happened to you, taking me out to eat? What happened to you? What happened to all that? It just stops as soon as you say I do.
and see, in some ways, I think what ends up happening is it's not so much that we change, but like you said, we got so relaxed that it looks like change.
Hmm.
Because in my mind, because sometimes for that purpose, what we're doing is for the sake of getting you. And in that, the perception is lost that this is how you want to be treated consistently. Like I said, all of that is work. That's effort. That's energy. And you're talking about putting in that level of effort, energy, consistently for the rest of our lives. That's a lot to commit to.
Well, we have to commit to
I'm
being
not
your.
saying it's wrong, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you. I'm
We
gonna let you do your
we have
piece.
to commit to being your wife. We have to commit to cooking for you. You have to commit to washing your drawers, taking care of the
I
kids.
don't know why draws had to come up in this
I
conversation.
mean, that's our commitment basically for the rest of our lives to I don't say be
So
your servant, but
let me ask you this. So do you feel like sometimes in marriage women are more committed than men?
hmm,
And you can answer honestly. I will not be offended on live. Now after we after we get off the live, I might share my.
um,
But you have permission to be truthful.
do you feel like what was the question again?
Or do you feel like women are more committed in marriage than men?
I feel like it's equal.
Do you? Honestly, it's.
I'm a,
Don't try to save
okay.
me.
Listen, I'm gonna say it for our marriage. In the beginning, I felt like you was more committed
Really,
in the beginning because I was ready to leave at a drop of a dime.
I probably asked the wrong person this question.
So
I
yeah,
probably
in the
asked.
beginning
I
you
probably
were,
asked the wrong woman
you
this question.
know, because I was like I said, you was willing to pull me back in and work things out. So I feel like you was more committed to this marriage. But then, what you still are. I had to catch up, if that makes sense. So that's why I say I feel like it's equal now
Mm,
because I've learned to help you fight for this marriage if that makes sense.
okay, so I give you that. But outside of us, let's just say if you're talking to different without
Absolutely. If we were not talking about us, I do feel like women are more committed to me.
what makes you say that?
Oh, because women, we're so like when we love hard.
And men don't?
They do,
You sure?
but
Go ahead.
for a woman, because I feel like the way God wired us, I feel like we love harder than men. I ain't speaking for everybody, but I'm just saying I feel like they do. I feel like women are more committed than men.
But like, I get what you're saying about feelings, but what's without? I mean, you don't have to go into details, but like, what experiences make you say that? Like, is it from conversations that you've had about people?
Yes, it's from conversations that I've had with people throughout the years. They will always say, "Well, I do A, B, C, and D, but my spouse doesn't. I try to do one, two, and three, but my spouse doesn't." Or even if it's like the spouse quote unquote wants to leave, the wife doesn't want it because she's committed to the marriage. If that makes sense, I'm trying to
Yeah.
explain the best way I can.
No, you're doing good. Like, I get it. Like, you're basically saying that from the conversations, and I'm assuming also from what you've seen through whoever, however, you've seen where women have always in conversation talked about what it is that they've done versus what their spouse isn't doing. You've seen where women have been the ones that's fought for the marriage, right? Or the ones that's trying to stick it out, make it work.
Mm.
And that perception, that experience is, and I believe that you're not the only woman that feels the way. I feel like a lot of women um, would agree and would say that women tend to be more committed in marriage than men.
Well, because say for instance, if you have a husband, that's not doing right, but the wife loves him, she wants her husband, so it's like that's why I feel like the woman is more committed to the marriage. Sometimes, now I ain't gonna say, but the woman is more committed because she has a deeper level of love for her spouse.
Now, I'm gonna challenge you on that.
Oh.
No, 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 no. Hear me out. Hear me out. It is well known that men don't tend to talk about their problems,
Mhm.
but women do.
Mhm.
I believe that it's not so much that women are more committed, it's just that women are more verbal about their commitments.
Okay.
I know you're like, I'm waiting for the punchline. So, for example, when it comes to our marriage, right, we
Mhm.
have issues,
Mhm.
we've had problems. How many times have you caught me talking to anyone about them? How many times have you had anything said to you back about anything I've ever said about you? Because it's not so much that I don't have a complaint, it's just not common for a man to give a complaint.
So does that make him more committed because he don't talk about his problems?
What I'm saying is, if you have a woman who's talking about all the things that she does and everything that the husband doesn't do, but then you have that same husband that never talks about what it is that's going on, you don't have his side of the story. You just have hers. So all you know is what she does and what he doesn't do. You have no clue about what he does, how he feels about what he does, why he doesn't do the things that he doesn't do. You don't know that side because he doesn't talk about it. So it can make it easier for you to have a perception that the man's not committed, only because you don't know how he feels.
Mm.
I think I said something right
Oh,
there. I
okay.
think I said
So you
something
want
right
you
there.
want oh, okay.
I really do. But I'm not saying that the silence that the men are operating is good. But what I am saying is that just like there are women who fight for their marriage when the man's not doing right, there are men fighting for a marriage with a woman that's not doing right.
That is true.
And and in that same vein, the only reason why you know they're not doing right is because they're not doing right to the point where it's public, not because the man's complaining about them. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so, like I could say for myself, we have been through situations to where there have been stuff that I probably should have talked to people about but didn't. And in that, I tried to cover you because my thing is, when we get through with this, they may not forgive you, but I will.
Mhm.
And I don't want you to have to deal with having to look someone in the face that may never look at you differently,
Right.
right? So that's why I don't say certain things. That's why, but in the midst of that, my silence is not a does not mean that my commitment is absent. I'm still committed, but I'm committed to you. I'm committed to your image. I'm committed to trying to make it work the best way I know how. And for a lot of men, we're not taught how to process emotions, so we don't talk about them, we don't share them. A lot of times we're trying to solve the problem, we're not trying to get through the details. Women like details, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of that is why it may feel like, you're more committed, because you're looking at, everything that you do. And you're not looking at everything I do. You're looking at everything I'm not doing, because everything I am doing is now normal for you. Before it was good, but after a while it just becomes normal. And to the flip of that, that happens for men too. So I appreciate you. You're a good wife. But once you've been a good wife consistently, then what was a good wife just becomes my wife, my normal wife. And I'm not saying that that's okay. Don't think that I'm saying that's okay. I'm not. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying that it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
And when something becomes normal, you become used to it. Sometimes you can unintentionally devalue it. You're like, okay, if you cook dinner every day, then when I come home, I just expect dinner. And so even though I'm grateful for it, my gratitude in what I show might diminish. And I know somebody was like, well, oh, it shouldn't then. You should know better. You should always be grateful. No, it's not intentional. It's not an intentional thing. It's just something that tends to happen. Every time you crank up your car, you don't go thank God. The only time you thank God every time you crank up your car is when you've been having issues with it. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when you're like, God, thank you. Why? Because there was a fear that it wasn't going to do what it always does.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're consistent at doing what you're supposed to do, then sometimes I just get in, I crank up. And it's not me being trying to be rude. It's just that I've learned to expect this from you, and it's become normal.
I believe we went totally left from what we was originally supposed to be talking about. So, but the conversation was good.
I think so. I think so.
We have to do more of these.
We do. We do. If you're not already following us, make sure you follow us on Facebook. We're the Davis Clan on Facebook. You can also look up Ivy Davis. We're the Davis Clan on YouTube. We're the Davis Clan on TikTok. The Real Davis Clan on Instagram. Make sure you go follow all of our pages. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit like. Make sure that you comment. We will be posting this particular episode on our Spotify podcast, Under Five. You can catch it on Spotify and on YouTube, the replay. Make sure you connect with us, build with us, man. So we'll continue to keep this conversation going, man. But thank y'all for tuning in.
We
Any
definitely will, huh?
Anything else you want to share with the people?
Um, just FYI, we are not therapists. We just got we just know a little bit in the 12, 13 years that we have been together.
I hope you get the number right.
We've been
Why are
married
you
12
stuttering?
years.
That's my job. Like I'm supposed
We've
to.
been ma- we've been married 12 years together for 13 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it has been a journey, but it has also been worth it.
Yeah.
And I love this man.
And I love this woman. Listen, we're getting ready to do an episode on what men think. My wife will be reaching out, putting a post about it for you all to shoot her. Women, it can be men too, but you should know if you're a man. But for the women, you should reach out to her with the questions that you always wanted to ask a man, or you asked a man and you wanted to answer, but he didn't give an answer. And I'm gonna do my best as a man to answer those questions for you live on the next episode that we do. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. I've been AC.
And I'm Ivy.
And we are Under Five. Until next time, grace, peace,
Peace.
God bless.